Today's video, we're going to be talking about another tragic case. This one's out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, where in late January, Clint Bonnell, beloved father, brother, student in the physician's assistant program at the Methodist University, and a recently retired Green Beret. That is a group that's considered really the elite soldiers for the U.S. Army Special Forces. Well, he seemed to disappear without a trace, and we're going to talk about it in today's video. Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. Psh, that's a sofa. Psh, but it ain't the normal one. Psh, this is Paul, and I ain't never been normal. Hello, everybody. My name's Paul. If you're new to the channel, if you're not new to the channel, my name still is Paul. I am currently in High Point at the furniture market where my cousin is here working, and so I came to visit her. So we're in the hotel rooms. We're in like a little, extended stay kind of place or whatever. So pardon the different setting, if you will. Now, let's go ahead and jump right back into today's video. So for those who have ever been enrolled in a health sciences program, you know the words mandatory attendance and academic rigor is putting it mildly, okay? Now, I say this because Clint's no call, no show, absence from his college classes on Monday, January 28th was the very thing that sounded a deafening alarm to both his classmates and academic advisors. They made numerous attempts to reach him by phone and other methods as well. But then, after realizing it was useless to keep trying, they went ahead and called in for a welfare check. So his wife, Shayna Cloud, was home when law enforcement arrived. Now, Cloud would tell authorities that she hadn't seen him since the day before when they left for the gym. They went in different cars, allegedly. Now, according to her, they rode separately because afterwards she needed to stop by the grocery store, and he was like gonna head to campus for a little study session or something like that. Now, while at the Bonnell home, they observed his car, his wallet, school books, all out in plain sight. This seemed to be a little bit sus, okay, for someone who was last seen driving away to attend an afternoon study session. Make it make sense. Now, a search warrant would later state, and I'll quote it here, deputies said the backpack had a bullet hole in it, and his wallet and laptop contained bullet fragments. A pistol was also recovered. And now, this is just some sofa sass on my part, but I do believe someone might be catching themselves a lying in wait charge before all is said and done, okay? Now, when authorities were unable to make contact with Bonnell after a second welfare check request, a friend, not his wife, okay, would file a missing persons report on January 29th. Then, in somewhat short succession, his story would be featured on Dateline, Missing in America, and it was on that very podcast Bonnell's sister, Stephanie Firkins, told the world there's very suspicious circumstances surrounding his disappearance. Now, during the investigation, she made it a point to talk about his optimism and joyful frame of mind. And this is just my sofa speculation here on this part right here, but I don't think this was unintentional. Yeah, I know. I said that word, okay. But I feel like she was concerned that his status as a veteran might make his case like less of a priority for the public or media, maybe even law enforcement, I don't know. But as true crime consumers, we far too often watch as certain groups get sidelined during an investigation. Like when authorities seem to react slowly to reports of a missing team because in most cases they, default to considering them like a runaway or something, right? So here's a snippet of what Clint's sister said in two separate interviews. And this is evidence to me that she does not want her brother stereotyped as another missing veteran, or worse yet, like discounted entirely. Now, here's the little thing that she said here. He was not the type of veteran that has no focus, no drive, and feels lost after retirement. He was happy, he was excited about his plans for life after the Army. He was a Green Beret medic, so he wanted to pursue medicine. He worked hard to get into the PA program and quickly became the president of his cohort. Now, he would not walk away from his life, his school, and his daughter. So you can tell that she really, cared a lot about this man, obviously, and wanted to get the message out that something's not right here. Now, you recall earlier that I said a friend filed Clint's missing persons report? Well, it was a friend who is a girl. Yes, Kelly Edwards was indeed his girlfriend. Now, pause for a second. I feel like, just before we keep going, I want to offer this quick reminder. We get together, we honor the lives of those who are lost, as well as family, friends, left behind, all that stuff, right? However, it is a place where we don't speak badly and whatnot of the victims, but also one where we can sit and judge the evil people doing stuff out there, okay? So that being said, yes, he seemed to have a side girlfriend, okay? It is what it is, right? Now, according to the often tawdry and seldom shockingly incorrect Daily Mail, Edwards came forward to share new details about her short-lived relationship with the former Green Beret, his doomed marriage to Cloud, and the ominous warning signs in the days leading up to his death. So the two met last summer, 2024, when Clint began taking classes at her yoga studio. And they clicked right away, apparently, and a close friendship was very quickly formed. Now, realizing how much they had in common only really deepened their connection, and this soon blossomed into more. Now, in speaking to media, she wanted to make it clear that Clint was honest from the get-go, okay, that he was still married, and I'm going to quote her here, "It was my choice to be friends and have a relationship with him." So she knew what she was getting into, basically, right? She knew the situation. She was like, okay, cool, whatever. Now, likewise, she also provided some key insight into the Bonnell and Cloud marriage. And she said, I'll quote again, "They had been together for around 16 years, and Clint was a doting stepfather to her daughter, who's now 19. Now, the couple were both still living under the same roof in this little rustic cabin set on a remote 15-acre property. Now, Bonnell told her that though they still lived together, their marriage had been over for many years. They had tried marriage counseling. They had spoken about getting a divorce for several years. So the idea wasn't new. Now, to continue quoting here, "I think there must have been some denial and delusion. In fact, around November, he told Shayna that he'd met someone else and wanted to finalize their long-term discussions about divorcing. Ultimately, she knew there was someone significant in his life, but did not know it was me until after Clint was gone." So not being able to provide these details due to the active police investigation, Edwards cryptically said, "Shayna was trying very hard to figure out who I was, and a lot happened in the 2 months before his passing, as well as some very mysterious occurrences in the days leading up to his disappearance." Now, these were significant enough that Bonnell requested to meet with the divorce attorney ahead of their scheduled appointment because of the nature of the energy that was around. However, despite these apparent warning signs, okay, Clint reassured her that he was not fearful that she would harm him. I mean, does anybody ever think that's really going to be the case in a lot of situations? No, at least you hope so, right? Now, while there was many things distinctive about this case and more yet to be revealed, I'm sure, okay, this one's going to be layered, right? The timing of his disappearance will probably come as no surprise. So, it happened within hours of Clint telling his wife that, yep, he had gone, he met with the divorce attorney to officially begin the proceedings. And now, just as quickly as Shayna Cloud morphed into a homicidal maniac, Bonnell's case was moved from the major crimes unit to the homicide unit, okay? Now, to date, here's a rundown of what we currently know about the timeline. So, the last person to ever hear from Clint was Kelly in a text message sent at 7:53 p.m. on January 27th. Then at 8:15 a.m. the following morning, his cell phone stopped sharing location data. By February 1st, investigators in tandem with Virginia authorities executed a search warrant on Shayna Cloud's rental property in Troy. Now that's located near the Fluvanna Correctional Center, where she was once employed as a nurse, and she might end up hanging out for a while. I don't know. Okay. Now, this yielded crucial evidence. Cloud's cell phone, which shows that there had been a confrontation between the couple. This also showed Cloud the day after Clint was last seen, traveled to the area where his body was eventually found. It gets him every time. It gets him every time. Now, additional video evidence showed that she was in this area for some period of time. Now, February 25th, nearly 1 month after his disappearance, authorities were notified that human remains were found in a body of water only a few miles from the Bonnells' home. Again, that's quiet. Go on, buckle up, pull those little sofas for, a little bit closer now. What I'm about to tell you regarding said remains is horrendous, okay? It is show business level brutal, insidious, horrible, you name it. So consider yourself show warned. Okay, this is your should trigger warning. Okay, so the 911 caller stated the body is missing some of its parts. It looks like there might be a part of a body floating out in the water. It's like it's been there for a while. There's no legs, arms, or nothing on it. Cumberland County District Attorney Billy West would echo this in a statement that was made to local media, saying, and I'll quote, "It's a horrific case and just a terrible condition that the body was found in. It was just a torso." Now, once the DNA was collected from the body, identified it as Clint Bonnell, Shayna Cloud would then be arrested and charged with murder and concealing a death on March 28th. Now, look, my sofa sass is busy today, okay? And it says a couple of things, but the first being, all signs point to Ms. Shayna catching another charge, but this time for gross abuse of a corpse. Now, March 31st, Cloud made her first court appearance where a judge, thank God, denied her bond. Shout out to whoever that is, right? Now, the life of Clint ended far too soon, as we so often see in these cases. And this appears to be another twisted case of like if I can't have him or her, whatever the situation calls for, nobody will, right? Now, as the case continues to reveal more and more, let's first of all not forget the endless sacrifices that he did make for our country and the family that's going to forever mourn his loss. Now, we're definitely going to be adding this to the ever-growing queue of cases that we're keeping our eye on. Shayna did appear in court, like I think on the 17th or something. So we'll continue to follow it and whatnot. This is not far from me. If you follow me and you see all the different cases I look into and whatever, South Carolina, North Carolina, things are getting turned up over here. Okay, things are getting turned up. So we'll keep our eye on it. We'll see, maybe go to some court appearances or whatever if it calls for it and warrants it. So that is it. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Also, while you're down there, if you have a case suggestion or like a trial that you want me to follow or whatever, drop it down there so that I'll know. We're following so many, if they do actually get to trial this year, are going to be taking place. So I want to kind of get a little barometer going on what the Sofa Squad wants to really watch. And while you're down there doing all that in the comment section, if you could please drop off some little sofas for myself, Rosco and Spirit, Bo and Luke, and well, good Lord, y'all come right, but rest the Sofa Squad. Good Lord, don't be shy. We all need a place to sit and hang out together to talk about this case, all the other ones we do talk about here at the Sofa Squad. And until we all meander our way on down there to do that, I'll see y'all soon. I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now, don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Rosco on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.